Elaine Crabb. I'm with Stantec and I'm a workplace strategist. I'm co-chairing Prêt-à-Porter 2022, but I also sit on IIDA's Equity Council at the moment.
I'm Brent Otsuka, and I am the Interior Design Manager at Ventures Architects. And I am also co-chairing Prêt-à-Porter 2022, but I'm also the VP of Premier Events for IIDA RMC.
Prêt-à-Porter is one of the biggest events for IIDA RMC. You know, I think there's just a lot of excitement about being able to create garments in a way, fashion it in a way that, you know, we might not normally think about how does garments get put together. And I feel like it also on the designer side kind of flips the way we think about the materials we're using for buildings, you know, looking at a different lens than just how we integrate it into our spaces.
Love this event so much because it's inclusive. You don't have to be an interior designer, architect, or engineer to understand fashion or to attend this event. It's one of IIDA's signature chapter events that allows you to attend without being a part of the industry, and that's why I love it so much.
Equity in the Built Environment, a Colorado coalition, which we call EBEC, helped us develop this year's theme. So EBEC and IIDA have partnered in the past on equity, diversity, and inclusion initiatives, and we really wanted to examine how do we integrate EDI into this chapter? What does it mean for this chapter? And so we started examining our premier events, and I was so lucky to work with Brent, and he shares the same values and ideas with all of that. And so we were like, Prêt-à-Porter, let's use this as a way to celebrate representation in the creative industries. So I'm really excited personally for that.
Yeah, and part of that representation is just being designers. Where do we constantly find inspiration or draw inspiration from? For me, it's food, music, and art. So that's where our basis for the theme this year. So teams this year will be paired with one of those aforementioned categories. So a culinary artist, an artist, or a musician. We have a platform that we can use to actually launch other people's visions out there that may not be able to on their own. And so I'm hoping that Pret will do that.
The partnerships that we are able to create through Prêt-à-Porter, whether it's with the design teams that are formed, whether that's the theme or even our event partners, you know, there's a lot of relationships to be built and to be had, and discovering, you know, what's in the community, what resources we have, who we can connect with. It's just an exciting time for us to evolve.
My name is Tanisha Littleton Broberg, and I am the owner of TL Professional Services. TL Professional Services is a company that started because I was a model from a very young age, and I got started in the industry when the rules and the regulations and the protocol was a lot different. And I grew up being an in-between, which meant I was never quite tall enough, or I was never quite short enough. I was too skinny or too big or too dark or too light. I never really fit in. I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. I believe in equal opportunities for everyone. And so as I grew and as I became more of a fixture in the Colorado fashion community, I implemented some of those ideals and beliefs into the business that I started. And so that's why I decided to work with you all, because it brings me an opportunity to be a part of something greater than I am. When I walk through and I see every designer like critiquing and tweaking with their garments, they care. You know, they care about the textures, they care about the art, they care about the people, and it's just phenomenal. And I've only been here for 2 days now. I would want to say that don't just attend this show for just the idea of being at a fashion show or attending an event. Attend this show with the ideal of change. Attend this show with the ideal that you buying a ticket or you participating or you just being in attendance is in support of someone who may have been made fun of or who may have, you know, faced differences where they couldn't express themselves or be who they are and get their voice out there through their art and their creativity. Know that you purchased this ticket because you're helping someone reach their goals and their dreams.
I'm Emily King. I am an architecture and design rep for Crossville Studios. We are a leading manufacturer and distributor of ceramic tile. Me personally, I am a new member of IIDA, so I'm excited to get a little bit more involved with the events and that. But as a company, Crossville Studios has been involved for quite some time. So the materials that our design team is working with on our Pret outfit is we have some thin porcelain panel tiles on there. We also have some really beautiful glass and ceramic mosaics too. I love the creativity, but I think that mostly I love seeing the people. These events, it's so much more than just seeing all of the people who specify our stuff and selling tile on that. These are our friends and our community, so it's so awesome when we can come together and spend time together, and it's been really cool getting to know everybody that I've been working with at the firm on our outfit, so getting to know them on a more personal level. But the creativity of Pret is just phenomenal. I mean, even walking through here today, I'm like, oh my gosh, the level is just amazing.
I'm Brandon Petros-Oliver, and I am a business development manager with All Steel.
And I'm Chelsea Lawrence. I am a design strategist and A&D liaison at Interior Environments.
And I happen to be on the Pret committee, calling myself the Judge Wrangler or the Judge Whisperer, as a judge's concierge, which has been fun so far. And it's my first Pret, so I'm excited for it. So I was able to wrangle up a bunch of materials. So the majority of the outfit is our laminates. So we used 2 different laminates, painted some on the inside. There's also metal clips. We used seating upholstery fabric for the bodysuit as well as the hat. So a combination of textiles, hard laminates, and then some hard plastic polymer shell earrings.
And I think they also incorporated a little bit of the foam, right, for the shoulder pad.
And some seating foam in the shoulders.
And this is an exciting night, exciting event, but the months and months of work, I mean, it's been fun every step of the way. I mean, people are excited to see one another, sure, but the creative outlet of being, you know, designers with a capital D for interior design or architecture, I love how they translate that to fashion, and just using that creative side of our brains. I mean, that's why we're here, right? That's why this industry is what it is. The Rocky Mountain chapter of IIDA does a really good job at reinventing it each year, so it's never stale, it's always fresh. So just that curiosity keeps me coming back.
I'm totally down with the theme. It's amazing because I'm part of that community, being gay, and just, you know, having come from a big city, spending 20 plus years in that city, I think it's very important to put it out there and to really, you know, make it known, and it allows people to start conversations that they probably wouldn't have conversed on before, really.
My name's Sayla Burke, and I am with Hayworth, and I am the Sales Associate Assistant for the Western region and beyond.
And I'm Michelle Cox, and I am the Director of Architecture and Design for Pear Workplace Solutions in Denver.
So they are working with laminates, edge banding that we use on any of our case goods, our masters, private offices, benching systems, and then they're also using a variety of drapes by Krodvat called Rocket. And then they are also using a textile referred to as Recheck from Hayworth as well. We're also working with the digital knits from they're used for the backs of our chairs.
And the digital knit material, I think, is probably because that material is only available like at the shape of a chair back. So that material really has to be manipulated pretty significantly in order to turn it into a garment, you know, piece of a garment. So there's a lot that needs to happen with that to turn that into something other than a chair back.
I like the surprise seeing these designers creating something out of something that was completely different, taking a material that is used for something such as a chair back and turning it into a couture, you know. I like the surprise of just walking down that hallway and getting a sneak peek. It was very exciting.
I'm always impressed and amazed at our creative community. I think we have incredible creative people in Colorado and in our industry specifically, but I am always amazed at what they are able to come up with and the pieces that they're able to create and the way that they're able to push the materials into something and from a finish, a building finish into an actual garment. I think it's amazing, and I'm always inspired, and I am always in awe of what comes down the runway.
My name's Haley Kochi. I am the lead of strategic partnerships for Elements, which includes all Elements studios as a part of our business development team. And that basically means I'm an industry partner for all industry partners out there. So anything that I can do to be a resource, especially in the A&D world, that's my job. So I've been a member of IIDA Rocky Mountain chapter since I moved to Denver 7 years ago, which has been awesome. And then also my company that I work for and our partner brands, Steelcase and Design Techs, are also sponsors. They used a lot of materials, a lot of Steelcase fabrics, and then they also used some components from our seating, which turned out pretty awesome. And I feel like you can't really tell that they're like the back of a seating piece because of the way they kind of interwove it with different textiles. Well, I feel like this year is extra special because we haven't been together since 2019 for this event, so that's extra awesome. I think the coolest part about Pret is seeing that even though we're designers, we're really all creatives first, so you get to see how creative people are to make a dress out of a chair back, which is pretty insane. I think IIDA is just being able to be involved in a group with like-minded people like myself, and that it kind of represents something bigger, so supporting design just generally in Denver and nationally is really awesome. And then coming back to Pret, I mean, I love events, so it's really fun to be able to see everyone all together. I think it's cool too to have our industry have an event to come together to cheer on everything as one group. It's not like it's competitive, it's just like a fun evening to kind of see all the designs and network and hang out with everyone.
My name is Emmanuel Martinez. I'm a visual artist. I do both sculpture and painting and murals. And I've been doing murals since 1968, so I'm kind of considered the pioneer of the mural movement here in Colorado. After reading about it, it just sounds like a real exciting project to do, and I'm very, honored and looking forward to seeing the different outfits and the creative spirit that goes into all this. So I'm very excited about judging this event. It's diverse and it's relative to all people, different people from different cultures, different sex orientations, and it's right up my alley because I do a lot of artwork that's universal in relation to all people, and it is a big challenge for me also. So I'm looking forward to that because I do engage in a lot of challenges, and I love being challenged by something like this. And I was just really honored to be a judge for an event like this because I have seen in my career as an artist, which is a long career. I'm 75 years old already, and I am really looking forward to seeing how innovative and how they've applied materials to a fashion, a wearable type of form. So I'm excited.
Well, my name is Crystal Middlestat. I perform as DJ Stat. I use they, them pronouns. And music is really just like a passion and hobby of mine. In my full-time world, I'm actually a director of a community foundation called Chinook Fund. So I help mobilize dollars to fund grassroots organizing across the state of Colorado. But I also have loved to create party spaces and community spaces as someone who's queer, mixed race, Japanese, and just lots of other experiences and identities. It's venues and parties, events aren't generally made for me and my community, my people. So I really love being able to use music as a way to like carve out that space. There's a lot of things that inspired it. I mean, absolutely, you know, some of the artists that were part of the design inspirations. So thinking about Janelle Monáe is one of those artists who's, you know, pansexual and also brings in like a lot of science fiction kind of themes to music videos and lyrics. Thinking about Brittany Howard, kind of having those connections between soulful music and house. I was really influenced by Detroit's music scene. Had a chance to spend some time in that city, so I tried to weave in some more like classic house songs along with more, you know, pop hits like, you know, stuff off Beyonce's latest album. And my goal was really to like play a little bit of familiar stuff, but also to introduce people to things that kind of span a couple of decades that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. And then I also was really influenced by ball culture, you know, primarily coming from Black and brown communities in New York City, having artists like Big Frida, who does bounce music in New Orleans as well. So trying to center Black trans artists and femmes as well was something I was drawing on for this set. I'm really excited to be able to just create the emotion and the, you know, the sort of just the vibe with the models being out there, to see them be proud, to see them really be in their power and to really like emanate and glow. I hope that my music can only like amplify the presence that they're gonna bring to the stage tomorrow night.
Hello, it's so wonderful to be here tonight. I'm Retta Williams-Shedd. I am the Director of Administration for Cleo Parker Robinson Dance. I have worked there for 8 years, as well as been a volunteer for 30. Growing up in the 60s with my grandmother in Alabama, she taught me how to sew, and she taught me how to be creative. And that's where a lot of my creativity comes from, is being a little kid in Tuskegee, Alabama in the South, playing with my grandmother around the sewing machine and learning about how you can take different types of fabrics and different types of material and create some amazing clothing without using patterns. And that's how I first learned how to sew. Seeing that everyone's using their creativity and putting it into something as simple as sewing and creation to create, you know, clothing and different products that we're gonna see on a fashion show. I'm like, how amazing is that? I think the most challenging piece to this whole process would be that so many materials that are out there for creating and building don't bend, they don't move. So how do you take something that's stiff and something that's rigid and turn it into something that's gonna have some movement or some fun and excitement that you'll be surprised to see even go further down a ramp as opposed to being on the side of a building. So much of what we do is about movement, and of course being in the dance community, it's all about movement and how things, you know, go from side to side and up and down, and how you take your body and use your body in so many different ways, and now you're adding something that has no movement. So how do you make that successful? How do you make that become something unique and different? So I see that as probably being going to be the most interesting part of what we're judging, is something that is not meant to move and not meant to go anywhere, moving and going down a ramp.
Thank you for that surprise performance by Cleo Parker Robinson Dance. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Prêt-à-Porter 2022. The designs that you will see tonight are inspired by and pay homage to Black, Indigenous, people of color, and lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual plus communities.
don't just attend this show for just the idea of being at a fashion show or attending an event. Attend this show with the ideal of change. Attend this show with the ideal that you buying a ticket or you participating or you just being in attendance is in support of someone who may have been made fun of or who may have, faced differences where they couldn't express themselves or be who they are and get their voice out there through their art and their creativity. Know that you purchased this ticket because you're helping someone reach their goals and their dreams.